All right, hey, shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to my elders and apostles at Great Millstone who still rule well and who have taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the elect out there, scattered wherever you may be. May Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai bless you and your household. And may you continue to endure. One second, let me put this on Do Not Disturb. So you sincere believers out there who do believe and who keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. And all right, shalom to you. Also, shalom to you Israelite foreigners, all right, who don't look like your so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American, but your lineage and your ancestry and your bloodline goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who are indeed the patriarchs of the Bible. Okay, shalom to you. All right, it is your brother Dabakia from the Sons of Yasharallah, GMS Colorado Springs Camp, coming to you again with another live lesson. All right, and this one will be part 2 of the previous lesson I just did. Don't have a title quite yet, but anyway, we'll stay here in the book of Habakkuk and get this whole chapter in the NLT. All right, and I pray that you're edified. That's what this thing is about: edification and exhortation. All right, Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. Look at the proud. All right, they trust in themselves and their lives are crooked. All right, like I said earlier in the previous lesson, the proud is Esau Edom. Okay, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. All right, and why are these Edomites proud? Because they've took down plenty of nations with that sword. Okay, and as we know, that's their blessing. All right, how about Shemel Shai blessed them with the sword? Yes, they fully have utilized it, but it's getting a whole lot worse with them pushing that digital shit. All right, I'm gonna be really careful about how I say these terms, because obviously they control the narrative and they control even YouTube. All right, nonetheless, that's an example of the proud. All right, putting so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to death, all right, via slavery, and not recompensing us from any of their wrongdoings, all right, telling us to get it by your own bootstraps. All this madness that these devils be spewing, okay? But that's an example of the proud. Look at the proud. They trust in themselves and their lives are crooked. Yes, indeed. Esau Edom lives a very sick and demented life, right? And if you need an example of that, just peep your president, King Devil, Nero Trump, all right, the Edomite. His name's all over the Epstein files and lists, but he's doing everything he can in his power to prevent this information from coming out. Well, guess what, you damn devil? It's already out. And their lives are crooked. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4 again from the top. Look at the proud. They trust in themselves and their lives are crooked. Right? Esau Edom is crooked on that left-hand side, right? The wickedness. But the righteous will live by their faithfulness to Yahweh. All right? Yes, and we have to remain faithful to Yahweh. All right? By fearing his name, taking heed, repenting, and praying. All right? And staying out of the way. Not getting into, any worldly affairs. Mind you, we are in the flesh, but that's what the law, statutes, and commandments are for, to keep us in order and to keep us in check. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5. Wealth is treacherous, and the arrogant are never at rest. All right. Yes, Esau Edom does anything he can to obtain, all right, wealth. Okay, they'll go and and steal your oil, all right? Brainwash your youth, all right? Set up a military base right there in the heart of your country just to keep eyes on you, all right? And to make sure that you're not doing anything that they deem illegal, okay? And you got ICE, all right, moving through fucking Chicago, Portland, everywhere, to be honest. And it's gonna get like that on all 50 states, 51 states. What you Americans have to understand is Esau Edom has declared war on his own citizens. Wealth is treacherous, it's a tongue twister, and the arrogant are never at rest, all right? So Esau Edom constantly plotting, thinking about how he can do more evil, all right? If you need an example of that, Kill Gates, all right? This guy is still pushing shit, and he won't stop pushing shit, all right? He wants to get you, everybody on earth, hipped up, but specifically you tribes, all right? You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. He wants to hip you up, all right, for you to have the basic necessities of life. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5. Wealth is treacherous, and the arrogant are never at rest. They open their mouths as wide as the grave. All right, their mouths as wide as the grave. Okay, they're a philosophy. They're indoctrination. All right, their theology. Okay, basically their viewpoints and their point of views throughout the whole earth. And as wide as the grave, that's because you can find these devils on every single continent and country on this earth, right? Just randomly there. And it's not even a random thing. They're there because they were given that right, to be there. Nonetheless, just whitewashing, all right? What, iconoclasm, all type of shit, all right? I can go on and on. But their mouths is basically them proceeding on with the wrongdoings and still keeping it pushing like that's not wrong. Beginning with the elite bankers, all right, the Amalekite small hats, all right, it starts with the elite bankers. Let's never forget that, all right? Donald Trump, Bill Gates, those are low-level Edomites compared to the rich and proud and arrogant Edomite small hats, all right? The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Gettys, all right, the Oppenheimers, etc. They open their mouths as wide as the grave, right? And like death, they are never satisfied, all right? Esau Edom is never satisfied with just living a normal life. He wants to put hell on you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans and make sure that you pay taxes, all right? Make sure that you get fined. He just wants to make your life a living hell. And guess what? Yahweh Bashim Yahushai set him up to do that. So, we chuckle because, hey, it's the Lord's movie. And they are never satisfied. They're not satisfied with giving you, they're not satisfied with just putting GMO in your food. They want to bring you beyond meat. All right, bring in fake and more artificial food. They want to spray the chemtrails in the sky because apparently it's good for our climate. Okay, they basically want to tear down the trees and mess up the ecosystem. Okay, living on planet Earth with this damn devil is hell. All right, that's why we say we don't believe in hell over here at GMS. We don't teach that. Hell is the grave, or it's a condition, right? But it's not a place below the earth with a man with a pitchfork, all right, torturing you for forever, for eternity. That's fucking off, and that goes back to Greek mythicism, all right, and Roman mythicism. They are never satisfied. So Esau Edom's not going to be satisfied until you Americans, you people all across the world, all right, or hipped up, all right, with that digital ID. I pray they don't take this video down. I got to stop saying that term. I need it. But y'all get it now. You know what I'm saying? Hey, fair use, fair use. All right. In their greed, they have gathered up many nations and swallowed many peoples. All right. What's the greed of Esau, Edom? All right. Going over towards the outskirts of Western Africa. All right. After 70 AD and snatching up the children of Israel and placing us on cargo slave ships, as well as you so-called Latinos and Native Americans. All right. But that wasn't enough. They had to have their way with your women. They were raping your women. All right, throwing you off the boats, okay? What else? Just being a complete devil, all right? Not sticking to his peace treaties, all right? Breaking his peace treaties, all right? That's why all this peace that they're talking about on the fake news, it's all irrelevant because, hey, peace is not in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai's plans for this devil, all right? Or for you 2/3. Let's get on you 2/3 as well. And you heathens, all right? Peace is not coming for you. We know that Jacob's trouble is getting roused up. It's getting hyped. It's getting more hyped up, pumped up. You got Antifa versus ICE versus DHS and so forth. Once again, that eventually will take place all throughout America, all right? It has already started in Eurasia, aka overseas. In their greed, they have gathered up many nations and swallowed many peoples. How did they swallow many people? By basically annihilating and putting nationalities and other heritages to death, all right? Or just basically teaching them that plantation Christianity, all right? And going into the Roman Catholicism, all of that madness, all right? That's an example of them swallowing up many peoples. All right, that left and right wing mad bullshit that Americans are so tight about right now. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 6. But soon their captivities will taunt them. All right, yes, your captivities will taunt them. Mostly because you're going into slavery, Esau, Edom. And you got the prophets, beginning with the elders and apostles at Great Millstone and the bishops on down, telling you that to your face. All right, week in and week out. Just like we got these lessons that we do. We sit down. We're telling you. We're telling you in your kingdom that you're going into slavery. All right. And that was a prophecy. As you can see. All right. We're living in times of prophecy. All right. We got to continue to prophesy. Okay. We can't get settled. All right. But soon their captivities will taunt them. All right. The same people you put into slavery are taunting you right now. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 2 from the top. Again, verse 6. But soon their I didn't even realize it said captives. Salakia. Yeah, the captives. The captives are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the Israelites of the Holy Bible. Okay, we're taunting these damn Edomites and these heathen nations by telling them that they're going into slavery and that we're the chosen people of the nation of Israel. Okay, and they can't do anything about it. They can't get with us in the scriptures. We don't have time to debate with you Edomite Christians or you Jake Christians. Keep it pushing. All right. But soon their captives will taunt them. They will mock them, saying, what sorrow await you thieves? Yes, you thieves. You stole riches. Okay, you stole people's land. You stole cattle. All right, you took over. You stolen Jake ideas. Okay, and now we're mocking you because hey, everything that you did to us is coming back to you, fucking devils. All right, it's a horrible time to be an Edomite. Like Elder Apostle Tahar says, you couldn't pay me $1 million, $1 trillion, even $1 billion to be an Edomite. All right, never ever will I be a leopard or a leper. Excuse me. All right, because that's all these Edomites are just lepers. All right, they're melanin deficient. Okay, but nonetheless, you have to have eyes to see. All right, they're not white. They're different shades of red. Okay, the jig is up. All right, you know how in that Scooby-Doo cartoon, when they all catch the bad guy at the end, they take the mask off. Well, that's what's going on right now. The Israelites are the mystery team, right? And we're revealing the villain at the end, all right? And that's funny because ultimately we know who the villain at the end is now. And that's you, Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man who comes from Mount Seir and Petra, okay? Look that up. All right, that's where you descend from, Esau Edom. You come from Mount Seir and Petra. All right, in Edom, okay? Mock them saying, what sorrow awaits you thieves, okay? Because it's not going to be nice when you're in those damn slave fields, all right, picking cotton. We're going to have you there fucking from sun up to sundown, all right, in the scorching sun. Not to mention, we're going to have spiritual powers too, beginning with the elect. I pray that I'm a part of that number, because when I have those spiritual powers to basically, I can't even put it into words. I'm just going to give you fucking Edomites hell. That's what you need to know. Now will you get what you deserve? You've become rich by extortion. Yes, you've extorted. I can't put a number on it. You've extorted hella people throughout earth and throughout time, throughout decades, throughout centuries, throughout millenniums. All right. Because once again, your physical blessing is that sword, and that sword is your weapon, your weaponry. All right, your helicopters, your planes, your jets, all right, etc. Your missiles, right? Your grenades. That's what you were blessed with. All right, now you will get what you deserve. You've become rich by extortion. But how much longer can this go on? That's what we ask Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, every day. How long, Lord? How long, O Lord? How long, O Yahweh Shai, will this devil get to rule over us with that iron fist, right? And with total despair, all right? We pray and we ask Yahweh Bahashem Shai to bring evil and horrible mass judgment to the Edomite and to the heathen nations daily, every afternoon, every evening, and at night. All right. Not to mention, we have the Day of Atonement coming in this evening as well, which is the highest holy day in the nation of Israel. All right. It's a 24-hour fast, dry fast, no water, no food, no drinks, no anything for 24 hours. It'll be from this evening, wherever you are, until next evening. Right. But how much longer can this go on? All right, verse 7. Suddenly, your debtors will take action. All right, yes, we're taking action against you damn devils because of all of the evilness, wickedness, and madness you've been doing to us throughout, the history of time. We're doing that, and we have to stay focused, because going back into this world has nothing to offer us. Everything good is in this truth. All right, I'm gonna say that again. Everything that's good for you resides right here in this truth. But suddenly your debtors will take action. All right, and we're taking the debtors are taking action by prophesying on the highways and byways, week in and week out, doing our daily lessons, our sit downs, right, and constantly keeping a sure watch on this devil. They will turn on you and take all you have while you stand trembling and helpless. All right, Esau, Edom, you're trembling right now, and you're helpless because you see those UFOs in the sky. All right, and they're not UFOs, they're chariots. All right, and you know that that's your demise. All right, you've been new, but now you're finally revealing it to the masses. That is your demise, you damn devils. You should be afraid, because Yahweh Bahashem Shai is gonna smoke you. You scum, because that's all you are, Esau, Edom. You're the scum of the earth, as well as you heathen nations that team up, that want to be in cahoots with the Edomite man, right? Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 8. Excuse me. Actually, verse 8. Because you have plundered many nations. All right, if I wasn't on lunch, I'd go get some of these words, but look these words up. Plundered. All right, in other words, stepped on. All right, many nations. Wiped out many nations. Like what the small hat Benjamin Satan, not a Jew, is doing to those folks over there in Palestine. Come on, let's call it what it is. I can't say it, but it's the G side. All right, he's taking the whole G side on the people, and that's nothing new. That's what these devils are good at. That's none. Look, I keep saying the same thing. They were blessed with the sword, which is just to be the total fucking devil that they can be. All right, but that's why Yahweh Bahashem Shai is bringing them down rather quickly. while you stand trembling and hopeless because you have plundered many nations. So what you've done to these nations is going to come back on your head, Esau, Edom. And last but not least, you're going to be fucking nuked. All right? Thermonuclear missiles are going to come and destroy everything that exists here in America. No ways around that. Now all the survivors will plunder you. All right, and in this what's what I'm looking for? Oh, and in this example, we could use the hopeful elect. All right, we're the ones who survived. Okay, Esau Edom's madness by coming into this truth. You know, Yahweh Shem Yahshua has woke us up and made us survivors. Because prior to being in this truth, we were going around referring to ourselves as Black, Mexican, and Native American, which are just bywords that our enemies have set over us. All right, that's why you got so-called Negroes going by in the tribe of Judah right now. You got the so-called Latinos going by the tribe of Issachar. All right, and you got the so-called Native Americans going by the tribe of Gad. All right, and all of us who are going by these names have, not necessarily all of us, but the hopeful elect, that is, have woke out of our sleep and have become survivors, because now we know what it feels like to live. All right. Wadi Shai for that. Now all the survivors will plunder you. All right. Once again, the survivors are the hopeful elect and a 1/3 in this generation. You committed murder through the countryside and filled the towns with violence. That's all you teach everywhere you go. Esau Edom is violence, 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 violence. Is the sword, death, violence, 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 violence. That's all it is with you devils. All right. You try to put on this act like the great white hype, but that's a damn lie. You're the Edomite. All right. You were just meant and placed on earth by Yahweh Shem Yahushai to be a violent man. Accept your fate, and most of you have. All right. It's going down across America. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 9. What sorrow awaits you who build big houses, all right, with money gained dishonestly. All right, you've gained money dishonestly by putting iron yokes around my ancestors' necks, all right, and not paying us reparations, saying we don't deserve that, all right. What else? Blood money, okay, and there's a huge wealth gap to this day. All right, and you devils want to say that, oh, blah, blah, oh, black people, so-called black people don't know how to work, this and that. Look, you damn devils, you set up the system for you to win, not for the children of Yasharallah to win. And the joke's on you, Edomites, all right, you heathens, because according to the Bible, we win and you lose. All right, Esau Edom, go ahead and push heavy with that NWO. All right, the hopeful elect is ready. All right, we see that the agenda is being forwarded and we fully support it, because we're ready to get the hell up out of this place. All right, Babylon the Great has nothing to offer us. All right, it's just filled with madness, subject to payments, out of order women, bugged out niggas, right? Black culture, fucking Latino culture, and so forth. Edomite, right? Culture, all type of philosophies and just pointless debates, okay, low vibrational humans. I can go on and on. Nonetheless, this place is hell. All right, bear with me, I'm walking back to the plantation. Got these Edomites looking at me. I'm glad they are. I'm going into slavery, E. It is what it is. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 9 again from the top. What sorrow awaits you who build big houses? All right, you literally have the biggest houses in the city, throughout the state. You live in luxurious areas. All right, mansions, 3-4 cars, a 2-car garage, a Tesla, and a Maserati. All right, you Edomites are set up to win, but sorrow is coming to you fucking devils who did this. Hey, I just seen that. All praise the Most High for that. It's coming. All right, and we beginning with the elders and apostles at Great Millstone and the bishops on down. Can't wait. Right? Actually, we're seeing it for ourselves. Every single corner that you pass, it's a fucking homeless Edomite, right? Begging for money, drugged out, fiend out. My fault, I'm doing something. Fiend out, and so forth. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 9, right there in the middle. With money gained dishonestly, you believe your wealth will buy security. All right, you're not secured from getting this ass whipping from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. I'll tell you that. Putting your family's nest beyond the reach of danger. All right, you Edomite, Amalekite bankers. All right, you believe that your riches, your mass wealth is going to protect you. Your doomsday bunkers. Nope, that's not going to protect you, because in that day when Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai blesses the elect with those spiritual powers, hey, you devils are getting rounded up. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 10. But by the murders you committed, you have shamed your name, all right, and forfeited your lives. These verses are very self-explanatory. This is all referring to the Edomite man, all right? It is what it is. No, Esau Edom will not be saved. Fucking, what's that one? GOCC? I think that's a false Israelite camp. All right, and forfeited your lives. Indeed, they did, because ultimately it was set up that way. But nonetheless, hey, that spotlight is now on these Edomite devils. All right, the whole world is seeing them for what they are. Okay. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 11. The very stones in the wall cry out against you. No doubt about that. All right, even the earth cries out against you devils, because ultimately you're not fit for rulership. All right, our irrigation system is messed up. All right, you have mass starvation all across the world because the Edomite devil is ruling with total wickedness. It's not too deep. That's just what it is. All right, and the beams and the ceilings echo the complaint. All right, and I believe those beams and the ceilings are the chariots, to be honest, because those are the angels in those chariots, and they're going back and reporting, all right, on the prayers of the elect and everything that they see across our world, okay, constantly. All right, and telling Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, hey, so-and-so prayed about this, or excuse me, Yahweh so-and-so prayed about this and that, and 9 times out of 10, it's probably a complaint, all right? So, hey, the angels are on you devils as we speak. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 12. What sorrow awaits you who build cities? With money gained through murder and corruption. You got America by putting to DEATH, the tribe of Gad, right? And the tribe of Reuben. That's how you got this country, okay? But now you want to claim that they're immigrants, and you're just completely bugged out, Esau Edom. You have cognitive dissonance, right? And you've gotten all that through I'm not going to say that word over and over again, but through Erder, right? And corruption. American corruption at that. All right. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 13. Has not the Lord Yahweh of heaven's armies promised that the wealth of nations will turn to ashes? Glad Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai for that, man. Because look, we're in that time now where the CBDCs are being mass marketed. All right, you're not cool. You'll be labeled an outcast if you don't take that C-hip, right? So what I'm basically saying is, eventually, and that eventually is like coming up soon. Cash in general will not matter. All right, cash will not save you Edomites. Cash isn't going to save you 2/3 Jakes. Cash is not going to save you fucking heathens. All right, but what's going to save us is this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. All right, because it's a gift. That is what's going to save us. All right, so live it up while you can, you wealthy people out there. But if you're not in this truth, your ass is grass. They work so hard, but all in vain. That's all these riches are. All right, Esau, their riches are in vain. Okay, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't matter any of that. Habakkuk chapter 14 and verse 14. 144. How about you for that? All right, this will be the final verse, because I'll do a part 3. It is what it is. You'll get getting lit up today, E. You're on the hot seat. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 14. Final verse for this lesson, or for this part. And it reads, "For as the waters fill the sea, the earth will be filled with an awareness of the glory of the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai." All right, we are aware now, and everybody knows about the Israelites. So the world and the globe is aware to who the true children of Israel are. All right, you devils continue to try to control the narrative, but the ones who Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai are with will not be deceived. All right. Salakia. I'm going to close out this lesson by saying, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash, Shalom.